Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
Hexanchus. Holy crap! Oh my god!
It's coming right at the ROS camera.
Oh my god, it's huge!
That's what we saw is the
It was the bait. It was the lasers bouncing off of his body.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
The bait away.
So he has all the bait?
No, the bait is to the right. Here he comes again. Here he comes.
Got it.
Man.
Did you get him on?
Oh, whoa. His gill slits are probably 20 centimeters long. This guy's got a meter long.
Hey, look how thick he is.
He's huge. What do you think, Max, on size? 10, 12 feet?
That one was much bigger than the one we saw first.
Oh, yeah.
Could that have been a megalodon? There's a shark. Here's a megalodon tooth right here.
So with the ether, this was an element which was removed off the periodic table in 1910. There was a Russian scientist named Dmitri who discovered newtonium. And when he discovered newtonium, he said that this is the ether. There are elements that are missing from our periodic table. That's what I started to realize. Everything below hydrogen, which there's quite a few, is not allowed to be published. Dmitri was the original founder of the periodic table. So they celebrate him every 10 years and say, if it wasn't for Dmitri, we wouldn't have the periodic table. But when you get into the situation with the ether, they don't even credit him for that, or they say it's debunked. And the reason that they debunk this and say that it's not true is because you had Einstein come out, who was paid to debunk things. Even though he was there to study the ether, he talked about the ether, then he said it wasn't real, which I thought was funny. You also have, in 1885, I think there's an experiment that they do to try to debunk, or 1887, there's another experiment that they try to do to debunk the ether. Now, when I was going through these rabbit holes, I found out that J.P. Morgan and Peabody's have owned the educational system since 1885. And then once that transition took place, it moved to the Rockefellers in 1902. And then both of those are backed by the Rothschilds. So you have that connection back there. So with the ether,
This is what they're hiding from you. The ether.
Nobody knows this temple exists. Imagine a 1,000-year-old temple with clear evidence of ancient technology. As you enter the temple, you look up one giant stone with 20 feet diameter. It also has a 3D chandelier hanging from the center part of the same stone block. According to some locals, the chandelier in the center rotates. Why was it made rotatable? If you sit under this, it will give you a psychedelic trip at the very center. You see that hole? They say a large crystal or a diamond was attached to it, and it was so bright that it illuminated the entire hall. Do you think they were using chisels and hammers? Or were they using advanced machines, just like what we use today? Did ancient builders know about gears and complex machinery? Nobody knows this temple exists.
Ancient temple, or was that an ancient motor? Shout out to Pareen Mohan. Look at the scale. Look how massive this is. Massive compared to this little person. Could this be a giant and his wife, possibly? If you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again. Feast your eyes on this extraordinary beauty. From Morocco, an orange barite specimen with Wolfmarine. What? Are you kidding me? With Wolfmarine and shiny pyrite under a UV golden flash. This is called, if I had to name this, this will be Diamond Cheddar Popcorn. Diamond Cheddar Popcorn, if I had to name this. It's dazzling. And under the UV light, are you kidding me? I would have a display where the UV light would go off every 30 seconds. Like, it will switch. And then the UV light will come on so you can see it. Then it will switch. How cool of a design would that be? I love this stuff, guys. I want to hear your names for this in the comments below. Drop, what would you call this specimen?
That controls polarity is the master of all things. And I find it's kind of funny that I learned a lot about polarity, and I've used it for helping people. I used it in dowsing. It's very, very important. And I'll give you an example of polarity. Every organ in the human body has a north and south polarity. There is no exception. I drew this. The block represents South Pole, and this is South Pole. This is your front right lobe, it's North Pole, and your back lobe is North Pole. So I call it a quadrupole. And basically you access the etheric realm, which is what the Hindus call the Akashic realm. That's the cause realm. It's even used in witchcraft. So what the witchcraft people do, I've written 2 articles on witchcraft and how it works and how it functions. And they use the same principles that the holy men use. It's like the knife that cuts the bread. You can cut it, you can use it to cut the bread or hurt somebody. So if you do it for good, then you're a saint. And if you do it for evil, then you're a devil. If you're praying for somebody that they'll get help, that's a good thing. But a lot of people pray that somebody will get harmed and hurt. So now you're drifting into witchcraft. That's why when somebody really does you in, you're just supposed to pray that they'll change their ways and they'll get better and that they'll repent and leave it be. You have to put it in His hands. Otherwise, you will be practicing the dark side of the knowledge. That controls polarity is the master of all things. And
I wish nothing but the best for everyone. I would never try to harm or wish any evil on anyone.
9 numbers in the universe. 9 numbers. 10 is actually 1 plus 0, that's 1. Zeros are placeholders. That's a man-made creation. Creator's language is math. There's only 9 numbers in the universe. 1 through 9. The numbers have a resonance, a frequency, a deep sacred geometry. And that this 3 6s and 9s is special. Very special. Who said that? How about last century's greatest genius? Not Einstein, Nikola Tesla. Tesla taught his students John Keeley and Royal Raymond Wright and others. If humanity only knew the powers of the 3 6s and 9s, it would be a completely different universe. Not just world, universe, said Tesla. The alphanumerics, alphabet numbers, and alphanumerics of the English language, 1 through 26. But we talked about earlier, there's only 9 numbers, so you've got to use the Pythagorean mystery school math method of reducing the double digits into the single digit integers. So you take 1 through 9, 10 is 1 plus 0, that's 1, 11, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 8. Then he took the words faith, trust, and God. Oh wow, isn't that interesting, he noted. They're all 8s, the infinity sign, God's number. 9 is completion. Now you might say, oh well, that's nothing fancy, there's nothing, it's just interesting, but it doesn't prove anything. Here you go. In the Bible, the Creator never adds or subtracts, always multiplies. So you take the multiples of 8s. Now imagine you were God for a minute. Just use your imagination. Rockefeller, Rothschild, cartel. That they deceived the wealthiest men of all the nations and practiced sorcery. The root word of sorcery is pharmacopoeia. Pharmaceuticals is the root word of sorcery. And they cast magic spells to do it. It says that's exactly what the hypnosis machines called a television are. Casting magic spells, indoctrinating people into the cult, into the deceptions. Thank you to the Rockefeller cartel, operating on behalf of the royalty of Europe and the banksters of Europe that are running Carnegie and Rockefeller institutes and foundations. The fundamental mathematics of this starts with the whole note in music, reflecting the whole cosmic system. Now imagine you were God for a minute. Just use your imagination. And you were all that was. Boring. You'd be bored. Moreover, think about this for a second. If you were all it was, if you expanded yourself as, let's say you were God, in all directions to infinity, in all directions, massive outward growth and beyond, until there was nothing else but you, there would be nothing else but you. That means everything and nothing is the same. Same. It's all in that one symbol. That's what that symbol represents. Now, the shortest distance between 2 points, the Creator and you, is a straight line. So you divide that. Now you've got the rudimentary 8, which is the infinity sign on its side. You see 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. It's all Masonic. It's all architecture. It's all sacred geometry. It's all the buried mathematics. Now flip this up. Look, you flip this one up here, flip this one down here. Now you got your X. That's how you came up with your X's, which are actually also alphanumerically the 6s, which I shared with you, is a symbol. Like you see how divide the 8 in half, you got your 3. But you also have this 6 here. If you cut off a little piece here, you got your 6, which represents the spiraling down from heaven to manifest into earth. And 9's the opposite, completion, going back up, rejoining Creator in the wholeness of heaven. That's the sacred understanding underlying our most fundamental mathematics.
Is it just me, or is Bill Nye getting more serious?
In 1839, at the National Library of Brazil, a mysterious manuscript was discovered. This 10-page document details the discovery of a lost city deep within an area known as Bahia in Brazil. The document tells of a group of Portuguese adventurers who searched the legendary mines of Muribeca, traveling for 10 years in Brazil's Amazon jungle. During their journey, the adventurers discovered the abandoned settlement of a lost city whose architecture and monuments are described as resembling a Greco-Roman style. Manuscript 512, as it is known, describes how the explorers found silver artifacts and gold. Some have speculated that this manuscript might just be the missing link to discover the lost city of Atlantis or even El Dorado.
You don't hear too much about what goes on in Brazil, especially in those rainforests. What are they really trying to hide from us?
I wanted to make a study on effective microbes after meeting Dr. Higa, and I knew that we had buffaloes in this country that went coast to coast at one time, and they had to be an unbelievable digestive machine. So I got a herd of buffaloes, and that was an experience. And buffaloes will kill you. They'll walk right through you and not trying to be mad or nasty. 6 of those buffaloes got loose one time. We had to get them back. And you can't herd buffalo like you do animals. They won't herd. You get out and you hit them in the face with a coat, and they'll chase you. And my brother would just barely get in the back of the truck, and that was good for about a mile. And we had these down, and I think the militia of Arizona showed up, the police and everybody else, and everybody that had a gun in the whole southern part of Arizona had a gun and wanted to get him a buffalo. But we got him back into the yard. We drove the truck right into the yard. They chased my brother about 5 miles, and it made a big article in the newspaper. One woman reported it to a highway patrolman. She said a herd of buffalo went through the yard, and the patrolman almost took her in. He thought she was drunk. I found out that the buffaloes could digest almost anything. They can take cellulose fiber, sawdust, and turn it into food. And I found the most valuable part about the buffalo was the feces. You can take a handful of buffalo dried chips, and you could throw it on 100 dead chickens that stink to high heavens, and 30, 40 minutes later there's no odor. And I found that the microbes in buffalo will lower radiation. So there's ways of actually addressing radiation besides putting it in lead boxes. I think Joe Lead wants to put it all in lead boxes and bury it. But if we can neutralize these things, I just don't see why we don't try to neutralize some of the things. We've actually been able to lower a radiation count with good music. Now that's something that's hard to believe.
Seems like an organic way to do things. I like it.
It ain't no way we been getting finessed like this, y'all. And China just exposed it all. So boom, America.
So the Remus.
It ain't no way we been getting finessed like this, y'all. and China just exposed it all. So boom, Americans out here dropping 800, 1200, and even 4,000 and more on designer clothes, thinking it's all luxury, all high quality clothes, the high end stuff. But China just pulled the curtain back and showed the world that most of the stuff is made in the same factories with material that costs a fraction of the price. So we're talking shoes that cost $30 to make, but it's being sold in US for $700. And we're talking hoodies that cost $10 to make, that's being sold for over $300. And jeans that cost $50 to make, that's being sold for $500 to $1,000. That's not high end. That's robbery. Y'all, and this is the crazy thing. This is not even new. A lot of people just been blind to it. They think it just because it got a fancy label, that means it costs more. In reality, that just means the mock-ups is better. China basically said, here y'all go. Now y'all better act like you know. And now everybody mad. They not mad at China. They mad at the brands that been overpricing this stuff they've been buying. They mad at the brands that they've been worshiping. See a sucker, lick a sucker, no diddy. They seeing now, they were never buying quality. They were buying status. And they finally waking up. All of this happened because of this tariffs. People would have never knew. Or some people was really too blind to even notice the fact. But now everything is front and center for everybody to see. So if you one of them people that dropped the check on this designer shit and now you feel played, let me know down below in the comments. Let's talk about it.
I wear a size 15. A lot of times they don't even got my size in most shoe stores anyway.
CERN is detecting non-humans coming in and out of portals. Listen closely.
Actually, CERN is dealing with radionuclear research.
Right.
It's nuclear research. But it is more than that because there are lots of physicians. I know some. They're doing very strange experimentation. There are beings from portals coming in and out. It's physicists from the CERN who told me this.
They've testified to beings coming in and out of portals.
Yes, they have. Apparently, in the bottom of the CERN, this portal, this door where they are dealing with all the subatomic dimensions. They say there are 17 different dimensions of reality. That's what those physicists say. Some others say there are more dimensions. You know, they had a being, they did not tell me more, who came that doesn't resemble a human. And then they had another one, and they have a proof because they left a scarf. They left a scarf. And now, when you look at what is going on in the CERN, there is a fight from some of the military agencies, Intel. They say that there is a fight on time. They're trying to change time.
Why would they need to change time unless something went wrong or was never supposed to happen? Because CERN is detecting non-human.
That's how the Mandela effect's going on. They're messing with time too much.
Take a look at this picture right here. Just take a look at that image of that child. Not only that, take a look how he's holding the child. He's almost holding the child like it's I don't know, almost like it's a ferret. And
that controls polarity.
Let's get back into these Cabbage Patch Kids. If you take a look at this picture right here, just take a look at that image of that child. Not only that, take a look how he's holding the child. He's almost holding the child like it's I don't know, almost like it's a ferret. And you also have to remember, these are supposedly premature babies. Now, if they're supposedly premature babies, why are you just have some guy just sitting there holding them up like that for everybody to sit around taking pictures if they're supposedly premature and delicate? I also noticed the incubators were odd. It didn't even look like anything that you would actually put an actual baby that you wanted to care for. Like, what is that? What's up with these flasks on the bottom? What is the M? What's going on here? There's a lot of chemistry going on here for a baby that's supposed to just be premature and being kept warm. Why couldn't they keep their own damn babies warm? At first glance, you take a look at this picture and it looks normal. But then again, it doesn't. Why are 3 men here? What is going on right now? Since when do men sit around like this operating and just working on? Since when? Huh? Because this is necessary? What is this? 1903, 1904. Another exposition. These are all over the world. They're making sure to showcase their clone devices as premature babies. Advertising. Like you would dolls or toys. And the funny thing is this. This is the mind blower. Let me tell you something. Why, right? Why would you need to have the babies in the incubator? That's like you going down to a washing machine place and you're there and they got actual clothes in there washing all the time. Why? Do you need clothes in the washing machine for me to know the washing machine works? Why weren't the incubators there with no babies in them? Why weren't they just there Wouldn't that have been normal? It's just infant incubators. It's infant incubators, right? What are they? Oh, you can set the temperature. You know, they keep the baby healthy. They keep them safe. Why is nobody thinking logical here? But no, they're here advertising baby incubators with babies in them from somewhere. And they're telling you that there were nurses there working. Where are their mothers? Where are the mothers? Would you let that creep just sit there and manhandle your baby? Probably not. Another thing, would you take your baby? Think about it, it's a premature baby. This right here, it's a fire. This lights up. They put water in here. That heats up and then would you have a fire heating, boiling water and all right near your baby? None of this adds up. Unless it's not really an actual like baby, unless it's just a clone. The child hatchery at the Berlin Exposition. Hatchery? The effectiveness of infant incubators. What do you mean? Like a child hatchery, like that's what would be like a chicken hatchery. There you hatching chickens, like you making them there. Incubators became a popular sideshow attraction at fairs, music. Coney Island, where they were displayed in incubators. In the late 1800s, inspired by chicken incubators, used simple. Why does it seem like these babies are like these clones, these Cabbage Patch Kids? It's like they need a certain temperature in order to grow. Like they literally modeled the baby after chicken hatcheries, which you'd only set a certain temperature because you want like the egg to hatch and you want the chicken to come out. A lot of y'all don't know about the Cabbage Patch Kids. Cabbage Patch Kids are a real thing. In my next video, because I don't got a lot of time in this one, they're gonna break that down, and that thing's gonna be weird and creepy, probably creepier than this one. But these white people in the 1800s, and they was sending these postcards. Cabbage Patch Kids, little kids from the Cabbage Patch. Like, and you heard about it. I'm just trying to spark that memory. Because these are the postcards they were sharing. And they weren't sharing these postcards for no reason. That's like a little mini statue. Cabbage with a baby in it. Yeah, because that's not creepy. Then y'all all know about the stork.
Looked like to me like the stork was getting paid.
Like, what the is going on here? What is this? Advertisements for cloned babies. What else could it possibly be? I mean, really though? Modern Bazaar Babies. Bazaar. It's like a store. That's like a, hey, come here and just buy a baby. Another thing. Why were they using these apparatuses instead of just breastfeeding? Do you know what this is? This is an image of the first movie. Did you know the first movie was actually a program for women to buy Cabbage Patch Kids? Let me show you. The name of the movie was La Fée aux Joues. I hope I pronounced that right. In the movie, you see this woman pulling babies out of cabbage, just pulling them out and dropping them on the ground like it's a happy, fun, wonderful land, like they're actual, I don't know, fucking carrots or turnips or something. Real babies, though. It's the first movie. Watch her. She's pulling these babies out of cabbage. This is the first movie, which is programmed. Because they would look, and then they acting like they're putting on the show, like they're selling the baby to somebody. Hey, oh, you come by and Cabbage Patch, come get a kid. Oh yeah, it's great. This is the first movie. Look, puts the baby down. Get the baby. Look, goes and grabs another one, puts it out there. And remember they told you there was this baby boom? How was there this baby boom if y'all babies were constantly dying? Infections, premature, hypothermia. But y'all needed this apparatus, which is an artificial womb. Why would you need an artificial womb? That's for a clone. Only a clone would need an artificial womb. During a baby boom? More like a mud flood? My adoptive father was born in 1943, and when I was a kid, he told me stories about children growing in Bloekelum, Dutch, cauliflower. But he was told this story by his grandmother and mother. When I see him again, I will ask him. This series reminds me of his story. Cabbages are not that much different from cauliflowers in this case. Grandfather told him about being born in cauliflower. Both sets of grandparents from my fam were cold and lacking sympathy or love. I am a loving grandma. I love my grandchildren, but I have no memories of my grandparents hugging or kissing me on the cheek. And furthermore, they neglected us and they locked us up in the patio for most of the day and no feeding either. We had to wait till someone else from the family came to feed us. What? Just gonna end it on this note. Oh, I got their ass now. Because what does that say? Exactly. What are those? Look. That's what the Cabbage Patch Kids are for. Repopulation. But when the mind's blind, the eyes can't see.
I do gotta admit, the whole Cabbage Patch vibe is giving me a creepy, eerie vibe that something evil was afoot. Something they shouldn't have been doing. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it this far, drop Sunday Secrets in the comments below. That lets me know that you're a real one and you watch it all the way through. And I just want to thank you for your support. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.